Ignore the wardrobe, by the way. It's all getting ripped out and redone. So forget about that. I was thinking the other day about, my own personal experience and my trading results over the years, and the fact that trading is easy when no one is watching. And the reason for this is because you don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to answer to anyone. You don't have to reply to criticism. If it's just you trading in your bedroom alone, you have no one to answer to. Even if you do something wrong, you don't have to answer to yourself, because a lot of the time you won't come up with criticism to yourself, right? Because as a human, you're trying to protect yourself. But the moment things become public, the moment you put yourself out there, you put your results out there, everything changes. Your entire psychology shifts. Now you have eyes on you. There is a level of accountability that you never had before when you're trading by yourself. And I didn't realize really how much this affected my psychology until I started sharing more publicly and being more open about my strategy and my performance, and being self-critical with myself. See, most traders live in what I call this invisible phase. You take a bad trade, you forget about it. You break your rules, you justify it. You blow an account and you just start fresh, and no one even knows about it. And even you sometimes don't know about it, because you become so self-delusioned that you convince yourself that you're profitable, because you only remember the best trades. You only remember your good months. You don't remember the times you broke your rules. You don't remember the times you mismanage your trades. You only remember the highlights. And so we get stuck into this endless cycle that we can't seem to get out of, because we've convinced ourselves that we're okay, we're profitable, we just need more time. When the reality of it is we don't have the skill. You don't have the skill to be profitable. Otherwise, you would be. And so everything started to change when I removed that invisibility phase, when I started becoming more public, when I started sharing my results more, when I started sharing my trades, when I started sharing my track record. And now over the last few months, I've been building a live track record, both on just my personal account, and now I'm building it on DarwinexZero as well, to further solidify this accountability within myself and my trading. Sharing both the wins, the losses, the drawdown, being fully transparent, raw and honest. And that's when trading starts to feel different. It doesn't feel like you can get away with things. You have to be disciplined. You have to take your trading seriously. And there's a few things that I noticed that changed psychologically. And I started maybe to hesitate a little bit more. I was a little bit more conscious of my decisions that I was making and the impact that they would have on my track record, and people would see these decisions that I was making. And it wasn't because I didn't know what I was doing. It was more so the fact that they started to mean something. The trades started to have meaning to them, because they were going to be out there in public view for people to see. And once you start to track everything publicly, you realize that consistency becomes the goal. Not fast gains, not quick cash, none of this stuff. One big win doesn't matter. One big loss doesn't disappear. Everything is on show, and everything compounds. So bad decisions compound, and everyone can see it, and you can see it yourself. And once you start sharing your results publicly, once you start being honest with yourself, once you start building a live track record, this is probably the biggest shift that I found happened to me, is that your ego becomes completely destroyed. It doesn't exist anymore, because you can't pretend anymore. There's nowhere to hide. You can't cherry pick trades. You can't cherry pick wins, what to share and what not to share. You can't hide behind screenshots. Your results are simply your results. They're a direct reflection of the decisions that you make on a day-to-day basis. And don't get me wrong, it's not all positives sharing your trade, building a live track record. There's absolutely negatives and cons to this approach as well. And the biggest one is clearly the pressure that it gives you, the pressure that you gain from putting yourself out there and taking trades live publicly in order to build a verifiable track record. I myself started to overthink trades. I started to overthink my ability to take these trades, and it does compound if you let it. But if you can push through that, and if you can build on that, the trader that you become at the end of that is one that really you can't build just being solo in your room, not sharing anything. Because over time, you start respecting risk. You start being disciplined with your process. You start thinking long term, and you become more disciplined and professional. Not because you want to, but you have to. See, most traders don't fail because their strategy doesn't work. They fail because no one is holding them accountable. No one's holding you accountable to your actions. And so for me, having everything tracked in that one place, having my results publicly out there, changed everything. It was enough to force that shift in my psychology and my discipline. And honestly, I don't think I could go back to being in that invisible phase anymore, because the growth that comes from putting yourself out there, putting your results out there, building a live track record is something that sitting in your room alone can't really do for you.